gentlemen, this is the main event. Fight fans worldwide, you tuned into the number one undisputed boxing podcast today. This is the Boxing Breakdown. Your heavy-handed, hard-hitting host, Mark Roxey.
What's up? And welcome to another edition of the Boxing Breakdown. I am your host, Mark Roxey, and I am here with my partner in crime, Mr. Harold Hunt. Harold, what's up?
What's up, man? I'm here. I'm ready to go. Good stuff out there today.
Yes, you are ready to go, man. You had, in the preset, folks, leading up to us going live here, Harold had, he was just chatty, Miss Chatty, man. He was chatting it up the entire time. And he's got a lot he wants to just unpack here today on another edition of the Boxing Breakdown. And thank you for being with us. If you are joining us, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you get your podcasts, thank you for being with us. We're delighted that you're with us tonight. And if you are tuning in on YouTube, thank you for being with us. Don't forget to throw your comments in the comment box below. And also hit the like and subscribe. And make sure you hit the notification so when we go live, you can make sure you know that you can join us every time. And It makes it a lot more fun when we have you with us. So wherever you are, thank you for participating in the Boxing Breakdown tonight. And Harold, we got quite an agenda today. We're going to start this thing off with a little discussion on Jaron Boots Ennis. And then we're going to flip over to Canelo versus Charlo news. We're going to flip it then to the Crawford versus Spence update. And then we're going to finish out with this Haney offer. And so let's kick this thing in gear, Harold. What you got for Jaron Boots Ennis? Let's talk about that.
Well, Mr. Boots Ennis performed well this weekend. He sold out a house of 3,000 people. So he does have cachet to sell seats, which is great. He had an opportunity to really showcase himself because he had an opponent who was going to allow that, who was nice, was going to come forward, who didn't really have any other skills but to overwhelm you, and whose opportunity to him was the greatest thing that he could ever get because, he's a religious guy. And, when you have that kind of faith behind you, you have no problem with anything, and you understand that you're going to be victorious. So all that combined caused him to be extremely relentless. And that gave Boots the opportunity to really show his skills. So the fight itself was really, really good because Boots did get hit a few times. But because the way that he fights and the way he adjusts, it was just a beautiful thing to watch, Mark. I mean, he started off southpaw, and then he switched over, and he just started landing different punches, and he just found himself in a situation where he could show his entire arsenal. I mean, offensively, it was like he had everything, every move, every shot, every a step around, everything was there. He just showed a complete arsenal offensively, and he was defensively responsible too. So I thought it was a great performance by him. Now, what I liked about it is that he did not allow any of that roughhousing, which people felt that Vila would do to him and cause him some issues. He did that. It didn't happen. And that right there is going to keep a lot of the other welterweights from even contemplating fighting Mr. Boots.
You bring up a good point. And just for the listeners tuning in, this was a big epic fight here in New Jersey because this fight took place at the world-renowned Boardwalk Hall in Atlantic City. And, IBF interim welterweight champion Jerome Boots Ennis may need to basically. The good news is that he did a very good job with this fight, but the bad news is that he may need to, slide into a lesser of an opponent next time, I guess is the easiest way to say, because, people are not really that interested in fighting him, to be quite honest. So I don't know how it's going to work out, but I know that performance on Saturday, that was a tremendous performance.
Yes.
And he fought a gentleman by the name of Romain Villa, and it was for the IBF interim welterweight title of the world. So, just so you guys know what we're talking about here, Jerome Ennis, he basically, as we said in the intro here, he beat the boots off of Romain Villa. He really did. And that's the story of that fight. I mean, Harold, what round had you most intrigued?
Well, the 7th round. But before I go into that, there's a human interest story with Mr. Villa.
Okay.
As we spoke earlier, another fighter from another country, Canelo's from another country, and he had his brother kidnapped.
Right.
And he had to pay for his brother to be released that same day of the fight, and that was on his mind. Well, Villa had the same problem. He's from Venezuela.
Right.
I don't want to say the local government, but not the local government, the local forces that are there.
Right.
On his last fight, they attempted to kidnap his sisters and his brothers and all of that, but he was able to get them out of there, and he had to do something financially to get them moved. However, there were 2 remaining that he could not get out.
Okay.
So that night of the fight that he fought, he had to think about that. What would happen while he was doing that? Would they go and take the other 2? The rest of them, he got them out of the country. But in Venezuela, the climate is such that, if a citizen is doing whatever, however you want to say, it's community money, if you will. So he went into the fight with that type of mindset because 2 of his siblings were not there. Now, he came from a family of 14, right?
Right.
So he was able to get everybody out except for 2.
Wow.
So that was on his mind. Now, as far as the fight was concerned, he had to beat the fight out that boy. And he was able to do that. And Villa just did not want to accept it. Right. Now, mentally, he knew he was in the fight, but his body was like, I am just taking too much. And if you notice, the doctor came and said, hey, something has to happen here because he's just taking too much. But he really, really had it in his mind that he was going to win that fight. And the knockout to me. Now, the rest of it was very interesting because he was landing cleanly, whatever. But the knockout was so powerful that he didn't even land that last punch. It was the 2 previously, and the last one he missed. But the rocking of that man's psyche and body was done after that first punch. The second one landed, but the last one missed, and he just crumpled like nothing. And when you see a man's will beat out of him, his will was beat out. He just wasn't getting knocked out. He get up and said, well, I got knocked out.
He had nothing left.
Nothing left. His will was beaten, and that's really tough to come back from, especially when your mindset was as strong as Villa's was. Yeah, no, Harold. I mean, it was quite a beating, and certainly Villa was definitely game coming in. He was completely game coming in, but I just don't know. With such a dominant performance, which is what we expected. I mean, Boots did what he actually should have done. It's not like he did what he was supposed to do to get where he wants to go. So, but I just don't see, because Villa was ranked somewhere up in the 10, like 9, 10, somewhere up there. And, I just don't see any of the big guys that are waiting for a title shot that are going to be willing to fight Jerome Boots Ennis. I just don't see it. I mean, do you think Keith Thurman would fight him? Well, he called out Stanionis, of course, because Ortiz has been stripped by the WBA because of his situation. So Stanionis is interim champion. So Stanionis is going to wait for Boots. I mean, he's going to wait for Spence and Crawford, and then he'll get a shot at them. However, if they'll do a rematch, Boots called out Stanionis, as you know, Mark.
Yeah.
So that's an opportunity there for him to really solidify himself. I don't see him taking a lighter fight. He just can't do it. It just be detrimental to him at this time. So he's going to have to call out whoever at welterweight that has any mettle, any fire. And the only one I can see is really Stanionis. I mean,
what about Rocha? Rocha is in there. Rocha is ranked number 7 by certain sanctioning, by certain ranking. But he's ranked somewhere in the top 10, let's say.
I agree with that, but Rocha will be beat just because he can't really necessarily sell anything. He's not someone people would know. We would know him, but we wouldn't. But people would know Stanionis because of the postponements back and forth, and he has excellent jab, and he's a little more crafted than Vila will be. So that'd be a better fight. As far as Keith Thurman is concerned, yes, that would be a great fight because Keith's going to sell that fight, and Keith's going to come in there, and this is his last chance to kind of look good. He's only lost one fight, but he's been written off by the boxing world, and he detests that. And so his opportunity can come forward with Boots, but Boots will beat him and Stanionis on the same night.
Right. Well, I'm sitting here trying to blow this thing up because my eyes are just, I don't know what it is, but my eyes are just sucky today. They really are, Harold. My eyes are sucky today, but I'm sitting here looking at the rankings and I can see the WBO has, how did I get to that? That's not where I wanted to be. Okay, this is where I wanted to be. So the WBO has Alexis Rocha ranked number 1. Okay. Rashid Ellis is number 3. Cody Crowley is number 2. Virgil Ortiz is number 4. Giovanni Santillan is number 5. And then Blair Cobb is number 6. Jamal James is number 7. Jing Sasaki from Japan, he's pretty good, actually. He's ranked number 8. Man, I don't even see Bootsy in there, man. He's not even in the rankings there in the WBO. As far as the IBF, you got Roman Vida was number 2. So that means that for the IBF, guess who's going to probably fill that slot, Harold?
Who?
Boots.
Yes.
He's right now. They've got him ready. They got him ready to fight. He's sitting in the gate, man, for Errol Spence. He's sitting in the gate.
Yeah, he's had that belt that makes him the mandatory.
Yeah.
He was the mandatory, and now Stanionis is a mandatory for the other sanctioning body for the WBA. So
for the WBA, that's correct. And WBC's got Keith Thurman sitting at 1 with Errol Spence at 2. Actually, Errol Spence is ready to go. Keith Thurman is number 1.
Well, Thurman's supposed to possibly fight Ugas, so we got to see how that's going to work out. He doesn't need to go in with Boots. He doesn't. Yeah. Not as far as for his career is concerned. Now, for us fans, oh, yes, that'd be a beautiful thing because the back and forth would be epic, of course. Right. But, he doesn't need that right now. He doesn't need the opportunity to possibly be beat somewhat decisively now. And I wouldn't mess with Boots right now at all because he looks too clean. He's working too well right now. And his mindset is sky high. And he looked really good. So he's going to carry that mindset into any other fight. And whoever's there is really going to, take that defeat hard.
Yeah, man. I mean, no, Boots is, great stuff is to come with Boots. I can tell you that he's the future, man. He really is. And it'll be interesting to see later on in the program. We're going to get into the Errol Spence versus Crawford fight. So we're going to break that down, and I'm sure that Boots' name is going to pop up again, man. It'll come up again. I promise you that. And just so you know, for those of you that are watching on YouTube, you can actually see the Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence fight is July 29th, Showtime, pay-per-view. Do not miss it. It's going to be fantastic. You will not want to miss that fight.
Not at all. That's something that a generational type thing right here. If you're a boxing fan, you absolutely have to tune in for that.
No doubt. No doubt. So Harold, man, let's pop it into second gear here.
Let's do that.
Let's get over to the Saul Canelo Alvarez versus Charlo, the update. Let's get that update.
Okay. Off the top, Charlo is taller and has a reach advantage. But I was just watching the Castaño-Charlo fight before I came on with you, Mark. And Charlo is not going to be really competitive. He stands straight up too much. He takes too many counter hooks. And Castano hit him too many times. And Canelo is not tall, but Canelo is thick. He's wide. He's muscular. Yeah. Both of these guys' work rate is low. So because of that, it's going to be very cerebral. But when they do land, it's going to be of significance. I don't really see Charlo hurting Canelo at all. And I see Charlo, when he's being offensive, he leaves so many holes open. And if Castano could constantly touch him in that manner over and over again, even though he was knocked out in that fight, up to the knockout, he was landing that left hook. And Canelo does well with that left hook. He was landing stuff to the body on a consistent basis before he got knocked out. Can't do that against Canelo. Not at all. Canelo knows how to chop down people who are taller than him. And then you're looking at a 14-pound weight gain that he has to come up from 54 to 68. And then we don't know.
Is he fighting it? Harold, let me slow down for a second, Harold. I got to ask you a question or two here, brother. So are we talking about, I want to make sure that the listeners understand what's happening here. So Canelo right now is fighting at 168, right? Yes. Is he fighting, and we're talking about Jamal. We're not talking about Jamel. We're talking about Jamal Charlo, right? Who's the WBC. He's a WBC middleweight champion. He's 32-0. He's locked and loaded in the WBC, right? That's who we're talking about.
No.
Because there's twins. Okay, talk to me.
We're talking about the brother who has now taken the fight because the Jamal, who was the WBC champion, is unable to take the fight due to situations with his family and the lack of work that he's done recently. So he feels like he's not available for that. So his brother stepped in, the undisputed at 154, which is Jamel. So Jamel gets to fight. However, Jamel is coming in from 154 to 168. Now, the stipulation is he just can't be over 168.
To 160. He can be because he's fighting at 160 now. He's ranked at 160 at 160 pounds. He's ranked.
Right, but when he fights Canelo, it will be at 168. Canelo's coming in at 168. But Little Charlo, as I call him, who is the undisputed, he has to come. He can make any weight he wants as long as it's not over 168. So he fights 152 or whatever. So I think he'll come in. I don't know what weight he'll come in. Yeah. Yes, 54. I meant to say 54, but I don't know exactly how he will come up in weight. He just can't be over 168. But to me, it doesn't really matter because his style is going to be easy for Canelo to figure out. He just leaves himself too open. It's too open. It's like an armadillo walking across the street. You're going to hit him with your car. He's so slow. I mean, he's just
yeah. And also he's bypassing. Canelo's bypassing anyone in the top 10 to make that fight happen. Right? Because at 168, you've got Benavidez as number 1. You got Plant at number 2, who they've already fought. You got Mibil at number 3. David Morrell at number 4, Ryder at number 5, right? And it goes on and on. Munguia is at number 9. Parker is at number 10. So, Anthony Durrell is at number 7. So, that's at 168. That's at super middleweight, folks. So,
they can't sell. Yeah. That's not an opportunity for him to have a fight that the world will want to watch. Period.
Right.
You know, it's not a mandatory. He just signed with PBC, as you know. Yeah. So he has to go with someone who can actually make the fight. And those two Charlo brothers can do so. He can fight one, beat him, fight the other, beat him. I think we talked about this on our last podcast. And then he'll get an opportunity to fight Spence. So as far as I see, I'm just saying that I watched the fight and I see so many holes, and I see that Canelo should beat the undisputed champion easily. Now, the problem is when he moves up and he fights Canelo, and if he loses, he will be stripped out of one of those sanctioned bodies is going to strip him. Yeah. Because you can't go up there at 168, fight Canelo, and then if you lose, expect to come back down and do what you want to do. They're not having that. If you're going to jump 14, you're going to go up there. You're either going to win up there and stay up there. If you lose up there, you're back at the bottom because you will be stripped. So that is something else he has to look at too. But the payday will be miraculous. So he might as well do that. And then who knows? He may just go back down to 160. Now his brother is at 160. So I don't know how that's going to work politically, but he'll lose all the belts until it's over, and he'll have all the belts going in. It'd be perfect for all the hype and all that. 2 undisputed, first time in history, 2 undisputed fights, blah blah blah. But the fallout will be if he loses, he won't be undisputed at 54 anymore because the other sanctioning body says, "Shoot, we need to spread these belts out and get some more sanctioning fees." And we got plenty of guys who, once those belts are fractured, who knows when they get back together. So that's how they're looking at it. But hey. The sanctioning bodies get their money. They're going to get, they're not going to get their money. That's what I meant to say. They're not, because it's not for their title. It's not for the 154 title. So all 4 sanctioning bodies, their hands are out with no money in it because he's moving up to 68 to do this. So there's so many things going on with that.
Harold, at 160 pounds, you got Jamal Charlo, 32-0, and you got Carlos Adame, 23-1. Those two guys are going to, they're like on a collision course, aren't they?
Well, Adamus has been very frequent. He's been fighting quite a bit. He's fighting very well. He would beat Charlo right now just because of his inactivity. Yeah, they'll talk a lot, but Adamus will beat him at this point. There's just no doubt about that. So I don't see that really being something that the purists, you and I and other people that follow boxing will really pay attention to. Maybe the run up to talk and all that would be great. 2 different countries, but it's a loss for Charlo if he does that. That's why he's not fighting Canelo, because he's just not ready for anything like that. The big Charlo.
No, I think I'm looking at. I don't mean to switch the subjects here because we didn't even have this on the agenda, but I'm looking at Carlos Adame, who he and I, we know one another. So Carlos Adame, 23-1, this guy is a beast in the ring. Okay. Not only is he a beast in the ring, but there are some good fights that could be made for him to help solidify his name in the 160 pound weight class. And one of them is Gennady Golovkin, because Gennady Golovkin's sitting in there. I'm not sure what's going to happen with Golovkin.
He's retired, supposedly. He's retired, supposedly.
He's ranked number 1 still, so I'm not sure if they're trying to make one more, exit fight or what they're going to do, but that would be a great fight for Carlos Adame. Also, Shane Mosley Jr. is in there. Chris Eubanks Jr. is in there as well. Solusky's in there. There's some good fighters there there's some good fights that could be made, particularly at the WBC, for the WBC belt.
But Mark, none of those can sell any seats, man. They just don't have it. It's not going to be a good promotion. They don't have it. They just don't have it. Yes, they're great fighters. Yes, they deserve. Yes. But they can't make any money with Canelo. They can't make any money. They'll drag the promotion. It won't be signed. He's got to go to someone who can actually sell seats. And the twin thing, the thing with the mental health, all that, and one twin could lose, and then he could the other one could get a revenge, and then Spence may be there if he loses, and all this and all that. That's what's needed. Now Benavidez, of course, got his own thing going on, so we have to see how that works out. But hey, right now, you are absolutely correct. There's so many great fights that could be made. Boxing wise.
Yo, let's talk about some great fights. Let's talk about Crawford versus Spence. Let's get into that, man.
Well, as you know, everyone's saying Spence will be relentless. He's going to come forward. He's going to do what he always does, this, that, and the other. And supposedly, Crawford's going to be able to have more skills and be able to get away from. It's going to be a 50-50 fight.
Yeah.
However, now the thought is Spence may not fight like that. He may not come in as he usually does with that relentless style that I'm coming forward, defensive responsible, going to the body and all that. He may actually box.
Do tell. Where in heavens would you ever get an idea like that?
Okay. Big fights like this cause you to skew your entire thought process because you've exhausted what you know.
Right.
Okay. And the fight's so far away and people still want to have some kind of opinion on it.
Yeah.
So they do a 360 just out of not necessarily boredom, but just they want to look at another angle, even though it may be unrealistic. But that is what's out there right now, that Spence may not fight the way we know Spence to fight. He may actually make it a boxing match, and he may be able to avoid the traps, and he'll set the traps or this or that and the other. He won't be that robot coming forward that's unstoppable, and then Bud picks him off. So
that's right. And that's when you and I were having a conversation about this, Harold. We talked about this at the end of the last episode of the Boxing Breakdown. And folks, if you did not check out the last episode of the Boxing Breakdown, make sure you go into the queue. You can get it on Apple Podcast, or you can find it here on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, you can just get down into the Boxing Breakdown channel and you can see the last episode, because we really did talk a lot about this. But what we failed to talk about was what are the scenarios that could play out in this fight between Errol Spence and Bud Crawford. And one of the things that I had said to you, Harold, was I think that people are underestimating Errol Spence in thinking that because of the way that he fights, that Errol Spence is not capable of fighting in other styles. And the thing that people fail to remember is that this is a fighter who has an incredible amateur pedigree. He's an amazing fighter. He's an amazing professional fighter, unbeaten, super talented fighter that has a lot of skills in the basket. And one of the things about having a lot of skills in the basket is that there's no need to pull those skills out if you can beat the guy. If you can beat the guy with the screwdriver, you don't need to pull out the hammer, right? So, and that's a simple analogy to say, I said that to say this.
That's a good one.
That, Errol Spence does have other skills in his basket other than the ones that he's used in the last 4 or 5 fights. So if you fail to understand that a fighter at this caliber does possess other weapons and other skills that could be assembled in a war plan to actually go in and do damage in ways that he has not done damage before. So I just put an air out there for all those, people who are going to bet on the fight, and people who, if I'm not sure what the odds are currently. I'm sure if you have a particular person you want to get, you better get them early, because the odds are going to be better now than they are as we get closer to the fight. But at the end of the day, Errol Spence has some skill sets that are remarkable. He also has tenacity. Even you just look at his fights, you look at the way that he dismantles his opponents using very methodical skill sets. Don't mistake that for him not having other skill sets. That's a mistake if you're going to suggest that Errol Spence can only be like a one-trick pony, walk forward. That being said, I'm going to pause there, and then we're going to go and talk about Crawford as well. But Harold, your thoughts on that?
Well, I agree with you totally. He may come out with a whole different game plan, just because Crawford could be looking for that. Everyone's looking for that, and he can show that he can box. It reminds me of the fight that he had with Mikey Garcia, where he purposely boxed. He wanted to show that his boxing skills were above par and that he was that he could do that. He could have took that boy out easily a couple of times, I believe, but he did not do that because he wanted to prove a point that he could box, he could move, he could pivot, he could do all those things. He doesn't have to necessarily just walk you down and beat you down while not being here at the same time. So I believe that's a situation that he has to say, because everyone's saying, well, you're not versatile enough. Terrence is versatile. He has extra gear, extra box, extra trick bag, whatever. But Spence has something very similar. And if he goes to that, then that may change the way Crawford looks at the fight, the way the fight actually pans out, because Spence is not going to be doing his MO, his mode of operation. He may be doing something different. So that is a possibility. Now, as far as Crawford's concerned, he is going to adapt to whatever comes his way. It's just a possibility that Spence may be able to do the same or similar and come out on top with that same type of boxing style, that type of thing. Mark, we talk about it could be a stinker. If someone decides they're gonna counterpuncher with a counterpuncher, that could be a possibility. We just don't know how this is going to go. But the rule of thought right now is that Spence may not come in the way that we expect him to. He may use those other skills that you spoke of.
Yeah, no, well said, Harold. Well said. And I mean, Errol Spence, again, 28-0. Number one, this is an example at the 147-pound weight class, welterweight weight class. You got Errol Spence Jr., 28-0. He's going up against Crawford, who's 39-0, in a very, what I would call a very, very serious weight class, serious weight division. And I believe the Ring Magazine belt is vacant, right? So
it is.
It's vacant. Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence. You got sitting in the back, Jerome Boots Ennis, right? With his backpack, ready to come, to get in the mix based on the winner of that fight. So there's a lot going on in this weight division. And, to be quite frank, I cannot wait until this fight happens. And
well, I can, because I can't. What interests me right now is how people are not flip-flopping, but their new philosophies are coming out back and forth from both of those guys, because we got so much time before the fight. Right. I'm hearing all kind of different processes and this and that, other than the obvious ones that we that the world is looking at. But now the people are trying to be more cerebral with it, and they're coming with this other stuff.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, what else is there to do but be cerebral? Because, most of these people are never going to go in the ring. Everybody has an opinion, like we talked about this, even with scoring fights. And listen, for those of you tuning in, I'm not jamming you for scoring the fight. I think what makes boxing so incredible is that everybody has an opinion about it. And those opinions differ vastly. They're usually never in line. That's one of the gifts of being in the sport of boxing and having so many people come to the table to watch it, because everybody, depending on your vantage point, depending on where you're sitting, you're going to have a different view of the fight. That's great. But at the end of the day, right, if you are not professionally trained in the scoring criterias of professional boxing, you 9 out of 10 times will not get the fight correct, because you don't know. It's like, that's like trying to play chess, but you don't know the rules. And you're just moving the chess pieces around. Well, you have to actually know the rules of engagement in order to determine the winner of any said bout. You can't determine the winner of a bout if you don't even know what the 4 criteria are of judging. So there's that, right? So I don't mean, but I am fully arms open wide for everybody's opinion about who's going to win the fight, because that's what makes this thing so much fun. We don't know who's going to win the fight.
So much. So, and that's the best part about it. Now, Showtime's got their 24/7 or whatever they call theirs. And that is must see TV. The first one dropped yesterday. So Saturday. So no, Sunday. So we're doing this on Monday, I take it. Yes. So please watch that, because that's just going to add to all the back and forth that people are going to have. So that's great to watch. And I encourage everyone to watch that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested to watch it myself. I got it in my queue. I haven't watched it, but I do, Harold. I do plan on, tuning in and seeing that because they do a great job with it. By the way, Harold.
Yeah,
they really do.
And that entire process was formulated by Floyd Mayweather. When he was over at HBO, he took it over to Showtime, and now it's a staple of the boxing run up to any fight of any note because of the way he structured. That is his agenda.
Right. I wonder if he is he part owner in that? You know, if he's part owner in the show or he just created it.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'd love to know that. Hey, Floyd, can you just hit us a comment, throw a comment down there on Facebook, and let us know? Are you a part owner in this show?
You got a piece of that, baby? Got a piece of that too?
Yeah, I'm sure he does. I mean, the guy's a super businessman. Awesome businessman. Love him. Yeah, it's amazing. So, all right, Harold. So let's jump on over to our last topic here for tonight, man. Let's get into this Haney. You have some great news about Devin Haney just off the wire. Share with me.
Okay. Well, I first heard that Devin was going to move up to 140. His father said he was going to move up to 140 on a boxing podcast, whatever. And supposedly Eddie Hearn got him a opportunity to fight Regis Prograis for Regis's belt at 140.
Okay.
Then Shakur Stevenson gets a contract at 135 from Haney saying, I get 75, Shakur, you get 25. Now, Shakur didn't turn it down. He just said he believes his worth is more than that. He hasn't straight out said no. He just said, I deserve more than 25%. Now,
wait a minute. Back up. Wait a minute. So 25% of what? Because we don't know what the amount is, right?
No, we don't. We don't.
So I mean, like this is we gotta understand what the amount is, because if Devin Haney goes to Shakur and says, "Yo, Shakur, I got this great deal for you. Let's fight. I'll give you 25% of whatever. I don't know what the whatever is.
I get 75, like if it's you get 25.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not right. I mean, the thing is that deal is great for Devin Haney, and that's like having a car, like a Datsun B210 or something, some nonsense like that, right? And the car is worth $500. You got some guy looking at the car, and you don't want to sell it to him, but you say to the guy, "Look, I'll sell you this car for $15,000." And the guy goes, "This car is only worth $500." He goes, "I know, but I'll sell it to you for $15,000 if you want it." I mean, the guy's going to go, "No, I don't want the car. It's only worth $5,000. I mean, it's only worth $500. Thank you. Thanks for sharing. Peace out." So why would he ever agree to take 25%?
I tell you why.
Explain this to me, not just me, but explain to the Boxing Breakdown fans.
He will win. Not only will he win, he'll be undisputed. His next subsequent fights, he will make triple, double that, because there's no one at 35 that can beat him. He just got to get those belts in his hands. Then he can call the shots. He won't get beat at 35 by nobody, by Tank, by nobody. So he can just enjoy himself and beat everybody and get that money that he gave up initially. He will win. He will win. If I was him, I would take the fight. Take the 25%. You're going to win. You're going to beat that boy. Go ahead and beat him. And then you rule. You rule at 35. If you want to do a rematch with Haney, go ahead. Then you get the lion's share. But no one's going to beat you at 35. Now, maybe that sounds biased, and I'm being a secure protection agency. I don't care. He has the best skill set. He beats everybody at 35. So I would take the fight.
Let's go through the top 10 at 135-pound weight division, okay? At the WBC, you got Devin Haney, right? At the IBF, you got Devin Haney. At the WBC, you got Devin Haney. And at the WBA, you got Devin Haney. So he's carrying all the straps. He's walking with the straps, right? We know that our good buddy Teofimo just flipped out of that and went up to 140. So he's sitting at 140. But in the weight division, you got at number 10, Muratalia, right? He's number 10. You got Hughes is number 9. Zapata is number 8. Cambosos Jr. is sitting at number 7. They already fought. Haney and he have already fought. You got Martin sitting at number 6. Shakur sitting at number 5 in the division at the 135-pound division. You've got Ryan Garcia, who's now at number 4 in the division. You got Isaac Pitbull Cruz at number 3. You got Javante Davis sitting at number 2. And you got Vasily Lomachenko at number 1. That's like, are you trying to say, and maybe you are, maybe you've already said it, but I just want the fans to really understand the gravity of what you said, which is that there's nobody in the top 5 that can smoke Shakur Stevenson.
No.
Okay.
He beats them all.
He beats them all. And so if you agree or disagree, please drop your comments in the box on YouTube or Facebook and let us know why you disagree with Harold. And tell us what you think about whether you think Shakur should be, catapulted right into a Devin Haney fight. I think it's kind of ridiculous that Devin Haney would say 75-25, and this is why. Because if Devin Haney messes around and fights Vasily Lomachenko again for a second fight, which, if you look at the rankings, they put him at number 1. So Vasily Lomachenko is actually at number 2 for the WBO. He's at number 3 for the IBF. He's at number 1 for the WBC. And for the WBA, I believe he's at number 3 as well. So he's sitting right there, right in the same spot as, Shakur Stevenson is, if you will. But whether or not that's going to happen or not, folks, I don't really know. I mean, I'd love to see Devin Haney square up against Davis. I just don't know that they will make that fight. Isaac Pitbull Cruz is not an easy competitor. So it'll be very, very interesting to see if Isaac Pitbull Cruz gets the job or Vasily Lomachenko. This is a very, very, the plot thickens here. And for him to offer Shakur 25%, it should be a 50-50 fight because it is a 50-50 fight. And, Devin Haney's 30-0 and Shakur Stevenson is 20-0. So, for me, I say make the fight. I don't know. What do I know? What do I know? I don't know what to say. But I think Harold has jumped off the program. So we're right around 45 minutes into the program. And I want to thank you guys for being with us. Thank you for joining us on Google Podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. We appreciate you. Spotify is another solution. You can find us at The Boxing Breakdown on Instagram. You can find us at The Boxing Breakdown on Facebook. And please join us there on those platforms. And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe as well as the notifications down below. And, we're gonna have more discussion. We'll see you next week on another episode of The Boxing Breakdown. I'm Mark Roxey for Harold Hunt. Peace and love, and I'll see you guys on the next edition. Peace.
Fight fans, join host Mark Roxey and special guests as they break down all aspects of the boxing world, including news, business, management, training, promotions, fan reactions, upcoming events, matchups, future boxing stars, title fights, state of the boxing world, and all the stuff you don't see when you watch boxing. This podcast is released each week on Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Live streamed on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook Live. It's the Boxing Breakdown, hosted by Mark Roxey.